What was that noise? Some weird noise in my brakes. What's going on, guys? Tristan with High Five Hobby, and we're back here with the HeyBike Horizon, and I wanted to go ahead and tell y'all a little bit about the brakes. So I did ride the HeyBike really hard the first 2 days, going down steep hills, using up my brakes. So this is what I changed, and this is what I got at the bike shop there in Trinidad. I believe it's Action Sports. If not, I'll leave a link down below to their website. But yeah, this is a Pro e-bike disc brake pads for Shimano and Tektro, and it's just going to be a little bit thicker pads, a little bit more durable. And then these were the pads that came with it. So let me go ahead and open these up and look and show you what the new pads look like compared to the one that I wore down and when it started making the noise. So we get a side-by-side comparison here. Really, it's not too much of a wear. He said that I still had some meat on the bone, that I maybe just needed to clean the brakes a little bit and then clean the dust off the rotors, which I did get some cleaner to do that. But you see all the graphite there is pretty much worn off on the used one, and they are pretty hot. So you can see the colors definitely changed there. So just one of the things worth noting, if you guys are going to be using the HeyBike for more outdoor mountain climbing or anything like that, mountain riding, you're probably going to need to get you some brake pads if you're going to, before you go out, because I did have to make a trip yesterday to go ahead and get some new ones. But we'll do a review on these brake pads, and if it doesn't rain on me, which if you guys can hear the thunder every now and then, I don't know how much riding I'm going to get with these, but I wanted to go ahead and do some of the same. I'm going to go up that mountain again. I went up there twice yesterday, and then I went down the big mountain over here, or the big hill, twice. So maybe I can do that again and see how long these last. But I just want to give you guys an update. There is more maintenance on these e-bikes, especially out here in the mountains. And some of the stuff you'll run into is you'll get dirt build up on your shocks. Just go ahead and wipe those down. You'll get some dirty chain, which you can wash off and clean off. I did get some chain lube, and I did get some rotor cleaner, so I did clean the rotors. I'm gonna have to adjust this this shifting a little bit, because if you guys heard, down into gear 1 going up that hill, it was really clicking and clanking. So I need to figure out what that is. There'll be some adjustment. And then of course you got your rear brakes back here, and you see I got the new ones in. So that's that big old dog that I saw yesterday. He's pretty friendly though. All right, gonna try to make it a little bit further today. So what I've learned thus far with owning an e-bike is there is a lot more maintenance than I thought from the beginning. And you know, some of that has to do with me being out in the mountains. Probably a lot of it has to do with me being out in the mountains, riding it a little bit harder, being in some, you know, dirt and dusty areas. But you know, I wasn't really expecting some of the maintenance stuff. Nobody really talks about that in their videos that I've watched, so I just kind of wanted to make a point here to let you know that if you're going to be riding it hard in the mountains with some braking, definitely go up there with some extra brakes, or get those $20 brakes, $26 brakes, whatever they were, that are made more for this type of riding. And I noticed the gear issue and it wasn't in every gear. It was like in first gear mainly, and maybe, yeah, mainly first gear. That just took some adjustment. Basically, um, lift up the back tire, and pedal and change gears. And if you find a gear that's hanging up, you just need to adjust it to where it's not hanging up anymore. Real simple stuff. You can find YouTube videos on it pretty easily on how to do that. So I wouldn't be afraid of those little maintenance things. Buy you some chain lube, buy you some disc brake cleaner, stuff like that. But really, changing the brakes was super simple. Fixing the chain and working on the derailleur was fairly simple. Just make sure when you are messing around with the rotors and stuff that you either wear gloves or just do not touch the rotor, because the grease from your hands will mess up the rotors, so just be careful with that. But really, I mean, it's fairly simple stuff. When I first had the issue with the noise in the brakes, I was like, oh my gosh, I just bought this bike, I waited on it, I'm up here in the mountains, and it was kind of disappointing. It kind of threw me off guard a little bit. I was like, wow, is this how it's going to be owning an e-bike? But if I would have been in town, it would have been a quick fix, but I did have to drive into town and go get some brake pads. But as soon as I got back, changed them out really quickly. I mean, less than 10 minutes to fix that, probably 10 to 15 minutes on fixing the derailleur and making sure the chain was working properly. So not that big of a deal. If you can watch a YouTube video and most of the tools you're already provided with when you built the bike, I imagine if you built the bike, then you could probably deal with this. No problem. There's this dog, my neighbor's dog, chasing me everywhere. But yeah, I wanted to let you know there is maintenance to these things. Don't be afraid of it. In most cases, when you guys are working, driving in the cities and stuff like that, you're not going to have these issues at all. But if you do run across these issues, not that big of a deal. Just watch some videos and you'll be fine. But this was just basically the test after I changed out everything. I wanted to make sure everything was good, so I just kind of rode around the block. And yeah, I'm about to do a test up this hill up here, so I'll let you finish watching this. What's going on, guys? Tristan with High Five Hobbies here, and today is day 4 with the HeyBike Horizon. Day 1, we just kind of cruised around a little bit, did a little bit of hill tests on it to make sure we could get up this big hill here, and we were able to make it up. It is a little taxing on the motor, so after a few passes I would have to go and charge it a little bit to keep the high voltage. Right now we are at 53.2. I just made a little round around our property, and I did have it up to 54 volts, so it went down about 8 volts on that little trip. And the reason I didn't ride yesterday was because, 1, it was my birthday yesterday, and 2 is because I burnt my brakes out. If you guys heard the video from the last video I did, when I entered into our property, you could hear that grinding noise. That was my brakes. So going up and down these hills, going up these mountains and everything, I used my brakes a little bit too much. I wasn't using the front brake hardly at all, and I was just tapping the right brake. Well, it still had some meat on the bone, but those brakes, I don't know if they're designed to make that noise when you're needing to replace them. But luckily, I did drive into town, went to Trinidad, and there was a bike store there, Action Sports, and I was able to find some brake pads. So I did get some thicker brake pads that are designed for EV or electric bikes in the mountain. So it's nothing that was wrong with my HeyBike Horizon other than me pushing the limits of what it can do as a regular electronic bike that has full suspension, 24-inch 3mm fat knobby tires. So I just wanted to kind of talk about that for a second and say there was nothing wrong with the bike. It was just me overusing the brakes, trying to learn how to ride out here. So hopefully with these new brakes, I'll get more than 2 days worth of riding on it. But yeah, I burnt those suckers up in 2 days because I was on pedal assist 5 most of the time going downhill, and I was using my brake a lot the first day. And the second day, I kind of learned that I needed to put it down in pedal assist 3 when I was going downhill. And that's going to keep me more at that 18 mile per hour speed. That's more comfortable going downhill instead of that, 21 to 30 miles per hour. So that'll keep my brakes a little bit more fresh. And it's sad that I did learn that just a little bit too late. But we're going to go ahead and go up this steep grade here. Now, I did go and check it with my truck, and the truck was saying that it's only an 8 degree to 9 degree at the peak, 9 degree grade, but it's a grade all the way up. So it's a very long, steep grade. So if you've seen some of those videos where people just go up the parking garage, which is 20% grade or something like that, yeah, that's going to be a steep incline, but it's not for very long. The reason why this one, I think, is a better test is it's going to be more of what you guys are riding. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. If you guys can hear the thunder, it's going to start raining on me pretty quick. So we'll go up this hill test on 53.2 volts and see how we do. I need to shift down. I'm going to shift down into 2, into 1, because I know I'm going to need it. Might need to adjust a little bit there. There it goes. It finally shifted. Still kind of shifting into 1. I think I need to do some adjustments. If you can hear that, it does not like 1 very well at all. But I haven't got up on my handlebars yet. I'm still just pedaling away with full throttle down. So again, very impressed with this e-bike, HeyBike Horizon, hill climbing. And I'm just gonna go back to pedaling, put it back on 3, go down to 4, go down to 3, 15 miles per hour, no throttle, just pedaling. It's still a 1% to 2% grade coming up this at times. So still very impressed. You see, we did drop down in voltage from the 54 to 49.8. And instead of using my brakes, go down to pedal assist 2, use it just a little bit there, a little bit here. And we're stopped. So brakes feel a lot better. Like I said, the probably gonna get rained on here in a little bit. So that'll be the end of this test. Once it starts raining, heats up a little bit, and we'll get out and do some more. All right, see you on the next one.